Pompton Lakes, New Jersey has a Hoosier feel to it. The Passaic County town is a tight-knit community, a place where those who once roamed the hallways of the high school often raised their children to grow up to be future Cardinals.
The community is close-knit, it's very spirited, the enthusiasm is off the charts. Can't help but get caught up in the spirit and enjoyment that comes with working and being part of this community. It's something like most people have never seen before.
The month of August is when most high school football teams are wrapping up camp, and the start to a new season is on the horizon. For Pompton Lakes at that time, the upcoming season wasn't the only thing on their minds. The focus was shifted elsewhere. The East Coast was in the immediate path of Hurricane Irene.
We had the flood before that in the spring. So a lot of the parents and kids were just getting their stuff back together, and then all of a sudden you turn around and see this coming. You can just tell by the track, and you were watching it, it was going to be bad. And then, they took some precautions, they tried some things that haven't been tried. They tried lowering the lake, and then it kept raining, and then came back into town a little later, and then you could just see what was going on, and you knew it was going to be really bad.
Hurricane Irene seemed to be inevitable, and just months before, in March, the community had dealt with flooding situations, and families were just getting back in order and rebuilding, and now you had something that just seemed inevitable. Right? It was 100% certain, and all we could do, as far as a community, is brace for that.
The damage in New Jersey due to Hurricane Irene was devastating. Homes were destroyed, streets were flooded, and major power outages crippled the rest of the state. Unfortunately for Pompton Lakes, the town was on the front page of most newspapers and the site for most news broadcasts, showing how bad the damage really was.
Well, for us, our field is in one of the lowest spots in Pompton, so it affected our field a lot. It was flooded for a while, so we had to search for places to practice for weeks. We had to find a new field to practice at, and it was a bit of a struggle.
Unfortunately, it's our fourth time that we were hit since March. And so the community prepared, we tried to help out our neighbors, we embraced each other. Athletically, we tried to move all of our equipment that we could to try to salvage it. But boy, when it came fast and furious, and it was just, it was difficult to embrace to see the damage it had done.
Still in the midst of disaster, there was a football season to be played. The community came together as hundreds of members from around the town pitched in to help. The Cardinals had endured a 3-7 season in 2010-11. Its last state title was in 2005, and they were hungry for another one.
We put in a lot of time. We spent our whole summer lifting. We spent hours after school lifting. During school, during our lunch period, we'd lift, and a lot of training out in the parking lot, a lot of agility stuff, some speed camp we did, conditioning camp. We did a lot of stuff to prepare.
Right when we got done with last year, we met with the kids and talked to them. We realized, we have the talent. We just had to piece it together, and the work had to start last December. And put it on the kids' credit, they went in that weight room and they wrote down December 3rd, 2011, MetLife Stadium.
The Cardinals finished the regular season with an 8-1 record and earned a number 1 seed in the North 1 Group 1 playoffs. Even as the top seed, the road to get to MetLife Stadium for the chance to play for a state championship was not easy. Victories over rival Hawthorne and powerful Saddlebrook propelled the Cardinals to the final.
Yeah, after the victory over Saddlebrook, we knew that they were probably one of the toughest teams in the bracket, and to beat them, and knowing that they beat Glen Rock pretty bad, that we were looking pretty good for the playoff.
I think the kids just were so elated for the community to say, hey, look, we're here, you supported us when we needed you, now we're here to give you something to cheer about. And definitely we felt very, very good. Like I said, we had everyone healthy, so we were very positive and optimistic heading into that final game.
So it was the light at the end of the tunnel. Pompton Lakes had made it to the place that it had set its sights on from day one. The team standing in their way, Glen Rock. This was a game that had more meaning than being crowned state champions. It meant that Cardinals would be able to give something their town could be happy about, and they did. The Cardinals' 2011 state championship adds yet another sparkling chapter to an already great history and tradition of Pompton Lakes football. And with everything that's happened in this community this past year, it might be their greatest one yet.
We always talked about the 2005 team because they were the last team to win it, and we never forgot them, and we'll be the same thing now where everyone's going to be talking about us, and it was an indescribable feeling.
I often felt that the stars were aligned. The calendar this year matched the calendar of '05. The dates, the weather, our seating, everything was the same. And then I thought of the devastation that this community dealt with. This feeling never gets old. It just doesn't. This has got to be right up there with probably some of the greatest championships in the history of this high school.